So it's been a while, but we're back for another video today, and it is my contest update part 2. So hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now then, it's going to be quite a long video, I'm thinking, because I'm going to be doing my contest update video, so I'm going to be telling you guys who's entered, and just a quick heads up that it's not long now till the contest is over. Second off, lighting, again in my room, not great, not how I want it to be. It's a dark, miserable day in England, so I've got my lamp on right in front of me here. So the lighting is not quite how I want it, but it's giving a weird effect. It looks like I'm glowing and everything else is a bit dark. Not exactly how I wanted it, but anyway. And yeah, it's been about, just under 2 weeks since I've done a video, and I'm not normally like that. Reason being, just been working a lot, busy a lot, and I wanted to come to you guys with a simple video today, because the last one got a bit heated with my John and Yoko video. We can't have opinions here on YouTube. You can't have opinions. So anyway, I'm going to do a bit more of an easygoing video today. So I'm going to tell you guys who's entered the contest so far. Just want to make sure I'm not missing no names, because there were a couple names missed in my 1,000 subscribers contest, and I felt really rotten inside. So just want to make sure that I've got everyone who's entered so far. Just give you guys a heads up that the contest is ending. So if you want to enter, yeah, not too long left. And then I'm going to enter myself. I'm going to do my favourite albums from the 50s all the way through to the 2010. So I'm covering every decade from the 50s and onwards. So yeah, there's a lot to go over. So we're going to get started. I haven't got a contest tie out. I know some of you are probably thinking, because I know people, they love my contest tie. It's a brilliant tie. Yeah, it's not here today. To be honest, I'll get it out for the drawing. Got BBA joining me today. Yeah. I'm actually fixing some things up on my shelf, so we had to come down, so yeah, he's sitting here with us on this video. But anyway, here we go. We have 21 names, 21 brilliant people who entered my contest. I'm going to apologise first off if I pronounce a couple names wrong here, because you guys know what I'm like. But anyway, so first off, a massive thank you to everyone who's taken part. It really means a lot to me. I know everyone says this, and I know I say this all the time in videos, but it really does mean a lot to me. When I started YouTube 3 years ago now, I never thought I'd get this far. I never thought I'd have people making videos to support my channel. That is just an incredible feeling to me. Watching them all just gave me such a kick. I loved seeing everyone's lists. So yeah, just fantastic people all round. So anyway, apologies if I pronounce some names wrong here. So first up, we've got Cyrus Adkins, who was the first person to enter. And again, these names are not 100% in order of, who got their video out first. Then we got James Parrish, Matthew Smith, Daiquiri Holder, Hayley Brennan, me, Mr. Mayo, Dr. Roberts, the Elvis Vinyl Guy, Jason Adams, Liam Dyer, Locked Grooves, Ben Simpson, New Mercury, Adam 80's Heaven, Rock and Roll 73, Ross Goodall, Balding Bloomer, Vinyl Collector James, Emmett Riggs, Mr. Colton Presley, sorry, and John Heaton. So yeah, they're all the names I've got so far, and a massive thank you to everyone who's taken part. It's been great seeing some of these collections. There's been a lot of Elvis stuff. Hayley covered a lot of Tom Petty, Dr. Robert, brilliant video, really enjoyed that. Some very obscure choices in your one, Robert, actually, very cool. A little bit of Ringo even popping up. So very cool video, and of course he made it so funny. Vinyl Collector James, high quality stuff as always, mate. It was brilliant to watch. Ben Simpson, great entry. So all round, just fantastic videos from everyone. I really have honestly enjoyed everyone's videos. They've all been brilliant. And a couple of them videos were also some people's first time here on YouTube. So I feel really honoured that their first video was for my contest. So that is just awesome, guys. So thank you so much. So anyway, for those of you who haven't entered, if you do want to enter, make sure you let me know on either update 1 or the actual contest video. This one, well, I guess you can let me know on this one as well. Contest is you have to pick at least 3 decades, but you can pick more if you want. So you can do 50s, 60s, 70s, or 50s through 80s. Don't have to start at the 50s. You could start at the 80s and then do 90s and 2000s. Just pick at least 3 decades or more, and just pick your favourite album from each of those decades. But of course you can do runners-up, because I've got a load of runners-up to show here. I've got 2 massive piles of records to talk about here. So yeah, that's basically it. You got to be subscribed to my channel, of course, as well. Obviously, make sure you let me know, because I don't want to miss your entry. What else is there? Yeah, the deadline is the 9th. I probably will be I said I was going to upload a video on the 10th, but I'm actually working on the 10th, so I'm thinking might have to upload it on the 9th, maybe, in the evening, just to give everyone the chance on the 9th, if anyone is going to upload a video on the last day, just to give them the chance to let it come in. But anyway, that is it. So now what we're going to do is, I know I said, and also the videos have to be under 15 minutes, and yeah, my 15 minutes is going to start now, because, you know, I'm cheating at my own contest a bit here. But I'm going to have a quick drink before we get started here, because you know what my voice is like, it goes after about 5 minutes without having a drink. Okay, okie dokie. So then, my 15 minutes, we're going to start it now. We're at about the 6-minute mark on the YouTube video. Which means I've got till 21 minutes to do this, because I do want to be fair to my own contest. So anyway, 50s, I really don't know anything about, well, I really don't know much from the 50s. You know, I know Little Richard's album, that was fantastic. There's a couple Elvis ones, but as I say, I'm not the biggest Elvis fan. So I've only actually picked out one album from the 50s, because this is the only one which I really listen to from the 50s a lot. And that is Buddy Holly, self-titled. Fantastic record. I do love this. I do love myself a bit of Buddy Holly. And of course, I believe it's 58 years now. I think that was the anniversary on Friday that he passed away, which I learnt from Emmett Riggs' video. So yeah. Anyway, 60s. What I've also done here is I've kind of ranked my runners-up from least to best. And of course, this list is also going to, you know, I don't know how to say this. It's also going to go against a lot of the things which I said in my top 50 albums. But like in my top 50 albums, that was how I was feeling for right there and then. This is how I'm feeling for right here and now. So this list isn't set in stone. This is just how I feel now. But anyway, this is my favourite albums from the 60s, from least to best. So here we've got the Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed. Great record. Fantastic record, in fact. Here we have The Who with Tommy. Very clever album from The Who. You know, I'm not the biggest Who fan, but this album here is just, it's incredible, really. If you're in the mood where you want to hear a storytelling album, it's the one to go to. The Rolling Stones, Beggar's Banquet. Another great Stones record there. The Beatles, the White Album. Yeah, there's not much more you can say about that. It's a fantastic record. Blind Faith. Yeah, I know, I'm showing the cover. My apologies. You know, Had to Cry Today is still one of the best songs ever, in my opinion. Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. You know, I'm not the biggest Dylan fan, but you can't knock this album. Every track on here is pretty much great. And yeah, that's his best work right there, in my opinion. And my second favourite album of the 60s is Led Zeppelin 2. You know, great record again, all the way through, just a lot of fun. And my favourite record of the 60s is the Beatles, of course, with Abbey Road. You know, when it comes to the 60s, you could fill a 60s list up with Beatles stuff. But this one's my favourite because the A-side is just hit after hit, really. And then the B-side is just a very clever, brilliant medley. So the 70s is my favourite decade when it comes to music, so I have a ton of albums to show here. So I'm going to go pretty quick on the 70s. My least favourite out of my favourites, so it's still a good thing, from the 70s is the Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers. And here we have Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Damn the Torpedoes. Billy Joel with The Stranger. You know, every track on here is pretty much a hit as well, apart from them last two tracks, but fantastic record. I've been playing this album a lot lately. I've really been digging it. I've always been a big fan of this album, but whew, you know, I've really been into it lately. That's John Martyn's Solid Air. Just a fantastic record. If you haven't heard that, it's a must pick up. Fleetwood Mac, Rumours. The Electric Light Orchestra, Out the Blue. Fantastic double album there. Maybe the best double album in terms of consistency of it being great from start to finish. Another double album here. Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. David Bowie, Hunky Dory. David Bowie again with Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. I just absolutely adore that record. It is fantastic. First solo entry from a Beatle, George Harrison with All Things Must Pass. You know, fantastic album there. Love it. Can't wait for the George Harrison vinyl box as well. Yep, I'm supporting that. I'm getting that. That is going to be awesome. And this is where the 70s stuff gets incredible. These top 4 albums are just... Led Zeppelin 4, just incredible record. Anyone who has anything bad to say about this album, just get out, go away. Next one up, probably similar feelings towards Out the Blue on this. You know, consistency from start to finish. This probably is my favourite double album ever, maybe. That Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Just incredible, incredible. And that, you know, stuff from that album is still being played today all over the radios. Even kids are listening to that one at parties and stuff. So that album has held up better than any other album from the 70s, maybe, I'd say. But these top 2 are special to me. The Electric Light Orchestra, New World record. Just a mind-blowing record, really. Best opening track of all time, and every track on there is pretty much a hit. And then recorded in the late 60s and early 70s. Derek and the Dominoes, Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs is my favourite album of the 70s. This is a fantastic record. I love it. It is just mind-blowingly brilliant. Okay, the 80s. 80s was difficult for me because, you know, it's not my favourite decade for music. But I was pretty proud of myself. I was pulling out all these records and I'm like, actually, you know what? I think I've got a good list here. So I'm pretty proud of my 80s selection. So anyway, my least favourite of my favourites of the 80s is U2, The Unforgettable Fire. Really wanted to include some U2 because I really have been getting into them lately. Well, I've always liked U2 somewhat. And yeah, while I don't actually own the Joshua Tree and a couple of others, so I couldn't include them, I do really like The Unforgettable Fire. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I want to include that. That's a good album. The supergroup up next, the Travelling Wilburys. You know, you've got Bob Dylan, Jeff Lynne, Tom Petty, Roy Orbison and George Harrison there. Another George Harrison entry there. Can tell he's one of my favourites when it comes to the Beatles. Next one up is Genesis. It's just Invisible Touch. Genesis are a very mixed bag for me. They're a very inconsistent band. But this album here is just incredible. Really is just incredible. If you put yourself in the cheesy kind of upbeat, fun 80s synthesizing mode, that's as good as it gets. This one's going to surprise people because I've never been the most positive sounding person on this artist. People are going to be like, really? You picked that? This is, though, a great album. And it's Michael Jackson's Bad. Yeah, great album. I know people are thinking, how have you picked that over Thriller? I actually prefer this one, I think. So yeah, really, you know, great album. You know, I'm not the biggest Jackson fan overall, but can't deny great album when there is one. And here we got Billy Joel, Stormfront, you know, massively underrated album. When it comes to Billy Joel, you know, everyone goes to his early 80s, late 70s stuff. And that's fine, because you have things like 52nd Street and The Stranger. Seriously underrated, though, that one. Great record. Here we got Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair. Great album as well. AC/DC, Back in Black, you know, just a classic rocking album. And kind of similar here to AC/DC's Back in Black, but I prefer it just a smidge. Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, sorry. I always say that wrong. And then here we got 2 albums back to back by Mr. David Bowie. And I couldn't really decide which one of these 2 I like more, so I just put them together. That's Let's Dance and Scary Monsters. I think I prefer Scary Monsters a smidge, but they're both great. And then here we got Eric Clapton Journeyman, came out in 89. 89 was the year, really, for the 80s for me, because we got that from 89. Coming in at number 2, we've got The Stone Roses from 89 as well, of course. Fantastic record. Opens up a little bit weak, in my opinion. I know some people absolutely worship that album, so I'm sorry if that comment offended many people. But the album is just great from there on. But my number 1 pick for the 80s is going to be Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever. Yeah, I love this record. It's fantastic. Great. Okay, so now, pull my next pile closer. Have a quick drink. Okay, it's got 5 minutes left. Come on, we can do this. Okay, 90s. Yeah, a lot of people are probably going to roll their eyes at my 90s stuff because it's just all older artists again. Now, there's been a big lack of a very popular artist in this video. I'm not the biggest... I mean, I like them, you know, but not the biggest fan, but I love this one record of theirs from the 90s, which a lot of people seem to be a bit on-off with, but I really like it. And starting off my 90s section is Pink Floyd with the Division Bell. Yeah, love that record. And then here we've got R.E.M., Out of Time. Jeff Lynne, Armchair Theatre. This is a complete covers album, which is why it kind of dropped back in the list. Whereas if this was all original material, it'd easily probably take the #1 spot. But it's Eric Clapton, From the Cradle. Fantastic studio album after the death of his son. Here we got Outside from David Bowie. Tom Petty, Wildflowers. Great album there. Just so much fun. And then here we've got another solo Beatle entry. Paul McCartney, Flaming Pie. Another Tom Petty one here. Probably my favourite Tom Petty album. Into the Great Wide Open. Love this album. And then coming in at second is Peter Gabriel, Us. Just incredible record. But my #1 choice for the 90s is Eric Clapton's Pilgrim. You know, the lyrics behind this album to do with the death of his son is just so heartbreaking in a way. But it is so brilliant, that album. Starting off 2000s, there's not as many here. I think there's something like 13 albums when I counted it earlier. Anyway, coming in at the bottom of my 2000 list is Johnny Cash. I forget the name of this one. My apologies. The Man Comes Around. This was the last album he put out just before he died. And it's an incredible record. Fair enough, a lot of it is covers, but it's still an incredible record. As he's covering songs like Hurt from Nine Inch Nails and... which one was it? He does a Beatles one on here. In My Life by the Beatles. Fantastic. And he does Bridge Over Troubled Waters by Simon & Garfunkel. And I do prefer that version. Next one up is Chaos and Creation in the Backyard by Paul McCartney. Really debating whether to put Road to Escondido or Back Home in this list from Eric Clapton. And I love them both equally, but I went with Back Home because it's more of a fun album. First appearance from Joe Bonamassa, who's one of my favourite artists who come about in 2000. You know, fantastic. This one here, a lot of Spanish influenced music. It's great to see him adapting to new styles. Just like this guy, Robert Plant here, teaming up with Alison Krauss for Raising Sand. The last studio album from David Bowie in 10 years, Reality. Love this record. It's a shame that he stopped after this one because that was a brilliant record. And then here we go with the top two. #2 is going to Coldplay, Rush of Blood to the Head. You know, this is a great album. When it comes to Coldplay, there's a lot you can talk about. This one and Viva La Vida are fantastic in my opinion, so it's hard to choose between them. But, you know, this one here is just very clever. Very clever. But my #1 choice is going to the second studio album from Joe Bonamassa. And it's called So It's Like That. Fantastic record. The opening track, My Mistake, is still one of my most favourite songs ever, period. Okay, so 2010s, here we go. We've got about 3 minutes to do this. Arctic Monkeys, AM. You know, Arctic Monkeys, I'm quite a big fan of theirs, and it's probably their best record right there. This one, probably a bit sentimental feelings towards this one, because I remember getting so excited when this came out, because when I started listening to music, it was really just Beatles and solo Beatles. So I remember getting all excited for this album. So it is Paul McCartney's New. You know, very good album. And then this one here, it's just you put it on and it is... it's like perfection, this album. Clapton from 2010. His voice suits all these old American songs so well. You know, Rocking Chair, River Runs Deep, you know, How Deep is the Ocean, My Very Good Friend the Milkman. Clapton's voice just suits them songs better than anyone else's, in my opinion. Fantastic stuff. And then here we've got Joe Bonamassa, Driving Towards Daylight. Love this record. The title track is just also one of my favourite songs ever. And then this here kind of goes against my 2016 list, so you can see my opinion's always changing. David Bowie, Black Star, heartbreaking album in a way, but do love it. And then here we are, top 3. Coldplay again with Ghost Stories. You know, love this record. All about Chris Martin's divorce to Gwyneth Paltrow. Heartbreaking album, but brilliant. Number 2 is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Hypnotic Eye. Fantastic record. And my favourite album of the 2010s is Joe Bonamassa, Blues of Desperation. So yeah, there we go. So 50s, of course, is Buddy Holly, self-titled. 60s was Abbey Road. 70s was Derek and the Dominoes. 80s went to Full Moon Fever. 90s, Pilgrim. 2000s. Oh, I'm going brain dead. What did I give 2000s to? Oh, Joe Bonamassa. So it's like that. And 2010s, Joe Bonamassa again. Blues of Desperation. So those are my favourite albums from each decade. And I've done it in 15 minutes plus the extra 5 minutes I took at the start to do the update. So there is my entry to my own contest. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So yeah, please get involved in the contest if you haven't yet, because there's not much time left. And of course, there is a record in it for the winner. And yeah, that's it for this video. BB-8's going to say goodbye. Yeah, that was a goodbye in BB-8 language. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message. See you guys next time. Oh wait, you guys still there? Yeah. Before we go, one more thing. I apologise, guys. Forgot to do this in the video. I'm leaving a link in the description to my YouTube channel where I do Blu-ray unboxing. So if you guys are interested in that, please check that out. Also, there's a link in the description to my Twitter. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter and see me posting records as I get them in the post and just talking about things I'm doing every day, because that is kind of what you do on Twitter, link in the description to that as well. So, thank you. Bye.